It's the metric that really gives us an idea of the capacity inside an agency.
Welcome to Business Refocused, a podcast about the people, decisions, and strategies behind building a successful business. Each week, we talk with leaders and operators about what they're learning, what's working, and the challenges that come with growth. I'm Lindsay Sexton, and I'm happy to introduce you to my co-host, who just so happens to be my mom, Carey Wallace. Let's get into it. Hey, Mom, how's it going?
Good, Lindsay. How are you?
Doing good. I've got my coffee here. What is your coffee order?
Oh, my coffee order is I'd like a Pike's Place, please, with room for cream. That's it. Super boring.
No sugar anymore?
No sugar anymore. Trying to be healthy.
Dang. I oscillate between a hot Americano and a iced Americano, but I'm a decaf girl. So I get always decaf coffee, either hot or cold, depending on the temperature outside, with half and half, because that's my jam. But
Yeah.
I used to be a sugar coffee girl, not so much anymore.
Sometimes I treat myself with the sweet cream just to, do a little something, but most of the time,
Mate?
yeah. Oh, sometimes not really, just sweet cream. Like it's just sweetened cream. That's it. Yeah.
Like at Starbucks?
Yeah, they have sweet cream.
Oh, like the foam stuff. You're a foam girl.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
they could do that on a Pike's Place. That's interesting. I might have to try that. Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They can do anything. Starbucks is amazing. They can do anything.
All right. Well, today for our coffee break, I wanted to talk about revenue per employee because we have been reviewing a ton of agency health check benchmarking reports together. Little Lindsay's going to grow up and have to start delivering reports on her own soon, which is terrifying. So revenue per employee is one of those metrics that is kind of a newer metric, and not a ton of people actually pay that close attention to it. Do you agree with that?
I wouldn't say it's a new metric. I would say this metric is shifting and changing quite a bit. It's the metric that really gives us an idea of the capacity inside an agency. And we all know that how we staff an agency is starting to shift, because of the use of VAs, because of the use of technology. Now, with AI dominating so many conversations, the question is, what will the future staffing look like inside an agency? There's all kinds of, LinkedIn posts, touting that we're going to have $1 million agencies run by a single human being. I don't know if that's true, but the whole idea is revenue per employee used to be the metric, or is the metric, that would talk to you about what is the true capacity inside an agency. And then you break that down even further with revenue per CSR, new revenue for producer, what's the average size book that a producer manages, etc. But the top line one is revenue per employee. So we should talk about, when someone is looking at this metric, what are the things they should be thinking about, asking themselves, and how do you even calculate it? Like, who's included when we talk about employees? So those are the most common questions I get asked when we talk about this metric. So I'll ask you, Lindsay, when we're doing revenue per employee, does the owner count as an employee?
Yes, the owner counts as an employee. Because really how we calculate it is we're taking all of the employees plus the owners of the agency. We're taking the revenue and we're going to divide the revenue by the number of employees that are in the agency. And you can compare that number to the benchmark in your agency size. So Best Practices has some guides out there. We obviously have benchmarks. The difference between Best Practices benchmarks and our benchmarks are broken out in smaller categories because we use Best Practices, but we also have our own data, and we work with agencies that from time to time that are smaller, right? So we have benchmarks in smaller size I think best practices is 1 million and under our all-in-one benchmark, and we break that category into 3 different benchmarks. So being able to compare that number to the benchmark will tell you if you are operating overstaffed or understaffed. And those numbers aren't always good or bad. They just tell the story of your agency, right? Some agencies are just staffed for growth and they are overstaffed on purpose, right? So that it's not always bad to not hit exactly on the benchmark. It just helps your agency tell its story.
So let me ask you another question. You ready? This is a common one that I get asked. Do VAs count in the total number of employees when you're doing revenue per employee?
I think at the time that we are now, they definitely get counted in employee count because typically if you have VAs, they are doing a lot of they're offloading a lot of CSR work that allows the agency to operate more efficiently. So yeah,
Yeah,
VAs are
so
included.
because of that, there's lots of agencies that are utilizing, and I hear the voice of one of our CFO clients in my ear. I use the word VA. What I meant was VE, virtual employee. So if you think of them as virtual employees, not virtual assistants, the answer is obviously yes, because they're an employee just like everyone else in your agency, and they need to be included in that count. So, an agency that has a strategy to use a lot of VEs, they will have naturally a lower revenue per employee than an agency that doesn't. And that's not a bad thing. That's their strategy. Many of those agencies that had a big VE strategy for their service, et cetera, in order to expand capacity for their licensed employees, are now looking at automation, technology, AI, et cetera. And you'll see that number start to shift again. So knowing what your strategy is in technology, in your virtual employee strategy, et cetera, provides context to this benchmark, but it's a great one to know. And again, like we said in the beginning, this metric is the one that's changing the most. So I think it's important to know where you are, what you're investing in inside your agency, and what you expect your revenue per employee to be can help be that guideline. Are we actually able to maybe not replace some of the roles as people retire? Are we able to actually increase our revenue with the exact same staff that we have in place based on the investments that we're making? Or is our investment not actually doing that and we still continue to have to increase our staff as we're growing? Those are the things you should be asking yourself as you're facing the industry, pressures that are there today and opportunities that exist today. So revenue per employee is a metric you should have on your dashboard, and you should have a strategy with where you are today and where you're going based on exactly what the makeup and culture of your agency is.
100%. Well, thank you for joining us for coffee today. If there's any topic you want us to cover in the future, my email is Lindsay, Lindsay, at agency-focus.com, and we'd love to cover it. Talk to you later.
Cheers.
Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Insurance Refocused podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to hit subscribe and leave us a review so you'll never miss us. Want to learn more about how Agency Focus can help you grow your agency? Head to agency-focus.com or email Carey directly at carey@agency-focus.com. If you need to get in touch with me, feel free to shoot me an email at lindsay@agency-focus.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.